Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another Enlisted video, and today we're going to be talking about a weapon that we have just recently gotten via the Enlisted event, and this is, of course, the sawed-off shotgun. For those who don't know, this is a secondary weapon at BR1, which is actually kind of surprising, and it's given, if you can get 4 of them, it is given to pretty much everyone. It can be used by everyone, and it is a shotgun that is a secondary weapon and has 2 rounds. For those who don't know, this is an insane weapon because of the fact that, well, because you have 2 12-gauge shotgun rounds going towards your enemy, and if they die, well, usually it results in them having their heads blown off, literally and historically, but not in game, surprisingly, so that's that. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the sawed-off shotgun, and without further ado, let's go on to the history. In the history, literally some Bill Bob Joe decides to take a shotgun and literally saw off the shotgun and literally just put in 2 rounds that is 12 gauge and send it off to the battlefield. This literally should come as no historical surprise to anyone because, honestly, let's be honest, there's not a lot of stuff we can talk about in terms of history, but we can know that in the 1930s, the United States, United Kingdom, and Canada mandated a permit to be required of these own weapons. When this was first occurred in human practice, having a sawed-off shotgun is none of my business because we don't know or don't have the historical. Probably it's because of the fact that some Bill Bob Joe decides to take a shotgun, saw off the barrel, and call it a day. Literally. But that said, let's move on to the stats. This sawed-off shotgun has a hit power of 51.5. has a reload time of 1.6, and has a shot deviation of 90, vertical recoil 112, and horizontal recoil 28, 2 round. Of course, you do have to manually reload it, so that's that. And let's move on to the verdict, because there's nothing else we can really talk about. This shotgun is mainly given to the United States, and once we're talking about the United States, let's talk about the other shotguns that the Americans have for this tier. For example, the Browning Auto 5. This weapon is essentially a 5-round shotgun that is pretty much similar to the current shotgun, except for the fact that this is 5 rounds, and this is semi-automatic, and this reload time is 3.5, which is, in my personal opinion, not that bad, but comparable to the shotgun. This is also a secondary, meaning that it's much better compared to the Browning Auto 5. And whilst we're moving on, let's move on to the Luftwaffe drilling rifle, which reload time is 3.4 seconds. This, for a secondary, is only around 1 second. To be exact, 1.6 seconds, which is insane. This is also a secondary in the sense that this has 18 rounds, so you have 9 rounds plus 1, that means you have 10, to essentially gun down people. If this was a primary weapon, this thing would still be insane. But considering the fact that this is a secondary weapon, this thing is even more insane. In my personal opinion, this is almost a must-get. It is almost as get as the Winchester 1866, except for if you use the sawed-off shotgun in BR1, you are practically unstoppable because as of right now, there is no other shotgun except for the Ithaca in which it can actually compete against, and the Ithaca is notoriously bad. Looking at the stats, the reload time is 5.4 and only has a 4-round magazine, and this thing is a 2-round, but it has the ability to quickly reload almost every single time. In my personal opinion, the sawed-off shotgun is the next best thing to the Winchester 1866 for this event, if not better. This is a secondary, and this thing is insane. 12 gauge can easily mount a person. Just don't go too far, literally too far away from your opponent, and if you're point blank range, they're pretty much dead. So yeah, and if you can aim, then they're pretty much dead. But in my personal opinion, the sawed-off shotgun is one of those mean weapons that are pretty good to use and pretty fun to use. Having a literal 12 gauge double-barrel sawed-off shotgun against a human body is insane to watch. I kid you not. The blood just spews out and it's insane. But needless to say, in my personal opinion, this is almost a must-get, almost as better, if not better, than the Winchester 1866. And without further ado, this is all it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Discord, and I'll see you in the next one.